Scoot out a little bit.
I didn't know you cared so much, Derek.
Man,
Pretty close.
Now you know, bro.
You good? Let me see.
Football.
Y'all want to win? Put Poopy in. Whoa, Nelly.
Who in the hell is that?
That there is Forrest Gump.
Win just one for the Kipper.
I don't want to play this game. We broke my nose.
I'm going to fix it.
I would ask for so much money that I had to put me on layaway.
Does he know any of these plays?
Give him a chance, all right? The guy knows the basic package, but he's only taking a few snaps.
Who's your daddy, Gary? Who's your daddy?
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
There's no crying.
Football.
And you know this, man.
Welcome to the Prep Stars Football Report. Here's your host, Derek Denham.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing out there? This is your man, Derek Denham. Welcome to the Prep Stars Football Report. As always, I got my man, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins in the house. What's up, big fella?
Hey. Happy Merry Day Christmas. Merry Day Christmas.
You about 3 weeks early, as usual. But,
absolutely.
Good to see you, my man.
Same here, big bro.
I know you, we're going to jump right into it. Tonight, big show tonight.
Big show.
We've got, we got West Bloomfield standouts, wide receiver Trey Mosley, who's committed to Michigan State. We also got outside linebacker Lance Dixon, who was committed to Penn State. And then we have Farmington Harrison standout cornerback Rod Hurd, who's committed to Northwestern University. And if that's not enough for everybody, we've got Dayton University football assistant coach Mark Fillmore. We also have Northwood University assistant football coach Avante Mitchell. And just for a little bit more for your listening and watching pleasure, we have Kent State assistant football coach Matthew Middleton. And finally, but definitely not least, we have Miss Cindy Shalter Sacido. She's from the first response. She's a first response coordinator for Turning Point, which handles domestic and sexual assault. So she's going to touch base on the situation with Kareem Hunt from the Kansas City Chiefs, well, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs for us. And then we can also talk to her a little bit about Title IX that we touched on with Ray Buford. So big show tonight. We're glad to have everyone watching and listening out there. But first and foremost, Urban Meyer.
Ooh, Urban. That's a big hit to Ohio State fans. A couple guys already decommitted from the program already. Urban Meyer no longer going to be there. He's taking a retirement due to health issues. I'm worried, Buckeye fans. I really am. We give this coach an opportunity to take over. What's the coach's name? Is the O-line coach is taking over right now?
Oh, I can't think.
Ryan. But I'm worried. Ohio State fans, I'm worried, and they're getting worried. I wish we had the Buckeye guy on. It'd be a good conversation for him.
Well, I think he's going to call in. Robert's
Oh,
going to call
awesome,
in. Yeah,
awesome,
call
awesome.
In. Yeah.
So I'm disturbed. So I'm hoping Buckeyes fans are the same, or the players are the same, but it's going to be scary.
But you know what, Reg? What I've been seeing, most of the commits, they seem to be, committed. They don't seem. I think one just decommitted.
One or two, yeah. I just saw that today.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're going to stick to their commitments, which I find surprising. Urban Meyer is he's a coaching icon now.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing: Michigan may finally have a chance to beat Ohio State.
Maybe.
I mean, and I know people are saying that this guy they have now, he's offensive coordinator, but I think Urban Meyer, just being who he is, I think just his presence alone is going to get you 2-3 wins.
Absolutely. That demands so much respect out there in the Big
Exactly.
Ten. And whether you like him or not, he's a winner. Everywhere he been, he won.
Right.
And this other guy, he's not even proven yet. I'm hoping that he keep the competition going between Michigan and Ohio State for the next 4 or 5 years. But see, I was hoping. Now I was crossing my finger. I'm a Lou Fickell fan. I'm a Coach Fickell fan. So I was hoping Cincinnati, they doing very well. What they doing out there with Fickell. I was hoping Fickell would be that next Ohio State Buckeye coach. I was hoping, and I'm not no disrespect to the coach that currently got the job, the intern coach, but I was a Fickell fan for when he was there, and I'm a Fickell fan now in Cincinnati. So I was hoping he was that guy at Ohio State, but they know something we don't know.
and that's something else I was going to address with you. Do you think there's more to it than they're putting out there? And I don't. You may have some inside information because you are Mr. Booby, but.
In my opinion, it might not mean nothing, but ever since the stuff with the wide receiver coach, Zach Smith,
right,
it's been ugly. It has been ugly. And Urban Meyer has been well known and a great guy and a great coach, and he took a beating this when he took the suspension.
No doubt.
So I don't know. I think it's more. I know his health been an issue. He had the same situation in Florida,
correct,
when he had Tim Tebow, but. I think it's more. I'm insinuating, but I think it's more, and I hope I'm wrong.
Do you think he's being forced out?
No, I just think he made a mistake with this receiver coach, and I think he just walking out. I think he's really walking away from it and let it die over a little bit and spend some time with his wife and trying to figure out what's his most priorities and most important to him. Maybe I'm 100% sure he's going to come back in a few years.
That was my next question.
Well, he did it. He did it in Florida.
And here's the funny thing: Harbaugh has to win. Now, wouldn't it be ironic they run Harbaugh out of town and Urban comes to Michigan?
Never happened.
Okay, hey,
it never happened. You can't wear the amazing blue then come with the Buckeyes on. It's gonna be tough.
Let me get you to understand something. Bo Schembechler is from where? Ohio.
Yeah.
He coached under who? Woody Hayes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So don't say it can't happen, because here's what I know about sports. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, but if you're a winner, people are going to look. Now, they're going to hate him in Ohio State.
No doubt.
That will taint his legacy. But if he was to come here and actually turn the program around like people were thinking that Urban is going to do, he'll be a guy.
Well, I mean, it don't make a difference if he coming now. They winning, they gonna get over that.
That's my point.
Hey, as a Buckeye fan, they win, they gonna change all that.
That's my point. And I think you never know, because I know Notre Dame was his dream job, which he had in the bag, but he turned it down for whatever reason, and he took the Ohio State job. So I know he's not done.
Oh, right.
It's in his blood. And I was looking at ESPN today, and they were just saying how you can see when he was on ESPN as a commentator,
so emotional, yeah.
he was miserable.
Yeah, he was miserable.
He's one of those guys. He has coach in his blood. I mean, he loves competition, and I don't care. And you played, I played. There's nothing that can compare to the competition. No. And I know he's a coach, which is a little different from a player, but still, there's that competition, and I know people that's still trying to find that level of competition now after they played and after they coached.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I can say this. NCAA is going to miss a very good coach.
No doubt about it.
And I'm praying and hoping the Ohio State Buckeyes will remain the same. But everything that's great got to change sometime, So
that's true.
A Buckeye fan, Urban Meyer, I wish you the best of luck. And
right.
Buckeye fans, I wish you the best of luck. So let's see what happens.
And I think they're going to need it, because here's what we know. Rome was considered the greatest empire at one time.
Yes.
Everything comes to an end. Life is nothing but a big circle, a big cycle, and it may be Ohio State's turn, because if they don't win, see, Ohio State has expectations that Michigan doesn't right now.
That's correct.
They've got to beat Michigan, and they got to win the rest of their games, and they should be in contention every year for the playoffs. That level of expectation is not here in the state of Michigan.
It's not.
So if this other guy does not meet those expectations, I give him 2 years. They'll be looking to get him out of there.
So you saying?
Yeah, I am. Go
ahead.
You
said Urban Meyer might be a head coach.
I'm saying.
University of Michigan.
I'm saying to you if Harbaugh does not win, just say, for example, we play Ohio State next year and we lose, and Urban is not there.
Right.
What do you think the fans here, they're going to go crazy? And I'm just saying, hey, Michigan would empty the banks to get Urban Meyer.
So, let's say Brian Kelly go to Michigan, Urban Meyer go to Notre Dame.
But wait. What would happen to Brian Kelly? Because they're not going to fire him.
Brian Kelly.
Are you saying he'll leave Notre Dame?
Brian Kelly going to get a bigger job.
What's bigger than Notre Dame?
There's a couple things.
What's Alabama?
Hey, $29 million guaranteed, $32 million guaranteed. He change his mind. Money talk, baby.
Yeah, it does.
Money talk.
But the prestige of the program.
Oh, I know.
Oh, Notre Dame, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. Those are jobs that you just don't leave those jobs.
Yeah.
And that's why, to your point, I think there may be a little bit more going on than meets the eye.
Oh, it is.
With Urban Meyer at Ohio State.
It is, no doubt about it. There's going to be some shakeups going on. And I'm praying to God that nothing else come out about Zach Smith and Coach Urban Meyer.
Yeah, it sounds like Zach may be trying to take people down with him.
He's doing that now. He already got Herman and from Texas, and he's saying some things that should have been confidential, and that's the man code. Keep the conversation to yourself. And he on Twitter making that stuff going on. So I don't know what happened, and it's not my place. But I just think keep the stuff to yourself.
I want to talk a little bit about you had your first workout, Rising Stars, 707 workout training. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about how that went, and then I just want to throw a little something out there to those that may be listening. And I was kind of troubled by it, Reg, and I'm gonna just put it out there now.
Yeah.
Had a player come up to me, and it was told to him that he shouldn't be at your event, because he's working out with some other individuals. No need to say any names.
Right.
And the particular coach told him not, to get his money, whatever. He can't attend your event, which he was already there. And I just find that to be, and I'm gonna just say it, that's some BS.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's enough for everybody to eat on here.
No doubt about it.
And one thing about you and I, we started with Playmaker U, you, myself, Pinklin, and Zave. And as things happen, we all went our separate ways.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, this is business, and you just don't spit venom into people like that. You don't, especially when it comes to kids, because I know all of us in the football community here in the state, we all about kids. We love kids. We want to help them. But if someone wants to go play 7-on-7 with someone else or what have you, hey, more power to them. No, I've dealt with a little bit of everybody over the years. You know that.
I have too.
I've taken kids with you, kids at different places, kids down in the city. For me, it's all about those kids. What's the best fit for that kid, or whatever the best situation is.
Well,
so I just wanted to address that to those that may be listening. This is business. It's about the kids. It's enough for everybody. Let's get over the pettiness.
Well, you said it best, and it's a business, and that's how they see it. That's why they do that. So my old theory is, if you can't get the girl, don't speak venom on that guy to get the girl.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if your game ain't tight enough to get that girl, then don't talk to her about the
get her on your own credentials.
Get on your credentials. So
no doubt.
It's business, and it bothers me because I love what I do, but you know what? It just makes me that much better. I got to be that much better.
Right.
And for those who are saying that and those who are spitting that venom on what we're doing, I'm okay with that. I love you no matter what, because
I love you, but I'm not okay with it.
I'm not okay with it,
I'm
but
not
guess
okay
what?
with it.
I'm going to be better. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to be better. And the way you do that, and I've been doing that, and at Playmakers we've done it, we just got to compete. We just got to get better, and we just got to give these kids opportunity. Now, for what everybody have done, from Michigan Lead down to Legacy and all these guys and Blackwell and them
Max
have
X,
done,
correct.
It's working what we've been doing. So we got kids going to Division I from everywhere.
No doubt about it.
Everywhere. So I'm just telling you, my job is to be better than all of you guys, because I want to make sure all my kids go to college.
But that's the thing, is I look at it as competition. What if a guy played for the Cowboys and he goes off to the New England Patriots? At the end of the day, it's business. And you can't get mad because someone wants to go over here, they don't want to go here, they don't want to do this. You get kids that come and go all the time.
Yeah. But see, and my job is to tell my kids, and I tell my kids, go to get the work.
No doubt about it.
If you got the money to pay for all three places, go get to work. I mean, I'm just simple as that.
But everybody's not going to allow you to play all three places. Think about AAU basketball. Kids can go play, with Super Friends today. They can go play with Speedy them with I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but down in Detroit. The thing is, if like you said, it should be a free market. Go where you want to go.
Yeah.
But don't tell somebody, hey man, if you rolling with them,
you can't roll with me.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No. So I want to address that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
It's been on my heart.
I get the conversation all the time, family. But you know what? Hey, I call it rising stars for a reason. My stars is going to rise above all that. And the guys that's not good, is working on to be great. I'm going to continue coaching them. So hey, we're going to be great. I done that for the last 10 years. And I have guys that wasn't that good that did not know about Lance Dixon, did not know about Trey Mose, did not know about KJ Hammer. KJ been with us since 5th grade.
No doubt.
So I'm going to make what I have great.
Right.
With you or without you. So say what you want to say about me. I've been doing this for 8-9 years, and through the grace of God, we've been productive, and the kids been going to college. There's 1,522 kids that we put in college in the last 9 years. So it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
So you guys can say what you want to say about what we do. I love you guys anyway. I'm just going to be better.
And we've showed that. I mean, with this show, I think, hey, I try to give everybody their props.
Yep.
If you're doing something, I welcome different people to come to the show. I promote what people do.
No doubt.
Because that's in my spirit.
No doubt.
I've helped different people do different things with no expectation to come back.
No doubt.
So, and again, I'm not talking, I'm just saying in general.
Yep.
I don't care who you are. At the end of the day, let's be about these kids. This is not personal. Let's be about these kids.
No doubt.
So I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No, I know.
I feel better now.
I
feel better.
It's been going through my whole life. I know you probably encountered because somebody came to you directly, and I've been hearing certain things for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine. You do you. I'm gonna make the best of what God blessed me with, and we're gonna be productive. So hey, I love all you guys. Hey, 7-on-7, you come, you better bring your A game because I'm gonna make sure we stomp you in the ground.
There it is. It's competition, and after you get off the, you in between the white lines. When you're done playing between the white lines, hey, go get your favorite beverage, go get you some wings. Hey, everybody chop it up. But when you're between the lines, I'm trying to destroy you.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
Yeah.
So again, it's about the kids for me. What I want to do is, and I want to remind everyone out there, you can go to www.prepstarsfootballreport.com if you want to watch the show, listen to old, episodes we have. If you want to watch live or listen live, listen live, you can by, again, visiting www.prepstarsfootballreport.com. What I want to do is take a quick break, and we come back, we'll talk a little recruiting.
Yep.
Then after that, we're going to have Cindy come in and talk a little bit about what she deals with the sexual abuse and domestic violence, and we're going to talk about Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
So we'll be right back in a moment with the Prep Stars Football Report.
This is Matthew Judon, outside linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, and you're listening to the Prep Star Football Report.
Are you hungry? So hungry your brain's telling you that the steering wheel is actually a giant pretzel? Sounds like you need some real food real quick. The brand new Subway snack menu has scrumptious toasties, tasty meatballs, and new yummy nachos from just 89 cents. See? Listen to me, not the voices in your head.
Okay, cool.
Can't wait till your next meal? We've got a snack for that. Subway. Eat fresh.
so. I think it's alternating weeks. I think. I'm not 100% certain.
Because last week it was, I can't, they were, they got but they were, it was like 2 guys and something.
Put you on the spot. It's a little bit on the spot. We have gotten a lot. Okay. She's a professional, so I can't say. Yeah. Oh shit. Our bad.
Shit, it's so damn long yesterday, guys.
Yeah, that's not the same people.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Okay. So let's let them in. You guys grab those last 2 seats there.
I noticed the little things, and lately I've noticed my TV is not as
incredible as it could be.
That's the word.
It's time for a Sony 4K TV. Vibrant color, stunning contrast with Google Assistant built in.
Yeah.
Vibrant and stunning. We should all be so lucky.
I also noticed my TV is not as
big as it could be.
Yeah.
Trust me, Sony knows how to do big TV. Check it.
Oh, I'm checking.
Boom. Am I right?
Get me some drink. You know you got the
At Metro PCS, everyone's celebrating an amazing deal. Switch now and get your choice of 3 free phones from great brands. Plus get a 3rd line with unlimited high-speed data free. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
There you go. Suck that shit up, huh?
How can we say when you book direct at choicehotels.com, you always get the lowest price in our rooms, guaranteed?
Yeah. Let's get someone to say it with a really low voice. Carl?
Lowest price guaranteed.
Yeah,
you know.
What about the world's lowest limbo stick?
How low can you go?
Nice one, Carl.
Right.
Hey, I've got an idea.
But you may
just say bada book, bada boom.
Coach, you know,
bada book, bada boom.
But she's not coming in as a 7:45.
Always the lowest price, guaranteed. Book now at choicehotels.com.
I figured my superstars in here. Lance and Trey and Rod Hurd.
So Avante. Avant. I said Avant. I'm sorry. Avant and Mark, correct? Okay, cool.
Huh? Avant, yeah. Super Joe's Avant. Yep. Why are you talking to your wife, man? You like get nervous and shit. You been preaching in church.
Let me turn around. Yep. And welcome back to the Prep Stars Football Report. I'm your host, Derek Denham. And again, I got my man, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins in the house. Also joining us, we've got some great coaches coming in. Mr. Mark Fillmore, Dayton University. And then we also have Mr. Avant Mitchell, Northwood University, assistant football coach.
Don't mess that up,
baby. Hey, I don't want to mess that up. Coach, a big guy over there, so don't
want
to mess that up.
Alum, baby.
But we appreciate these brothers coming in. And what's up, fellas? Y'all all right?
All right, appreciate
You're good, good. Coach Fillmore. So tell us a little bit, man. What's your title? I know you're assistant coach, but what position coach are you at?
I coach the receivers at the University of Dayton.
Sure.
Just finished my 2nd season there. We finished 6-5 this past year, and we had some games. We're a non-scholarship program down in Ohio, and we do a pretty good job of finding those true student athletes that that value that education and want to play football still at a high level.
Gotcha. And Reg, I know you've been knowing Coach for a while. Talk a little bit about coaching this program for me.
I mean, Vaught like family. I've been knowing Vaught since high school, coaching with him, and he's now the DB coach at Northwood, where I graduate from. Still got records, baby. 20 years
look at him! Look at him!
20
Still
years
got
later.
records. Okay.
So if you haters out there, yeah, I used to run. I used to run now. No,
right.
But Coach Mitchell been a very good friend of mine for years. Played quarterback at Louisville back in the day. Young fella, the poorest guy. He think he's the man.
Coach Carter.
Coach, I don't know what Coach Carter. It was Coach.
Both.
It was
Coach
both.
Johnson passed my sophomore year.
Got you. Okay.
Right. So the Mitchell family has been always been dear and near to me, and he's now the DB coach at Northwood. So tell us a little bit about Northwood and what they offer for these student athletes out here.
Yeah.
Northwood University, we're a Division II school in the GLIAC. We're in Midland, Michigan, so dead center of the state. We're one of the best business schools in the Midwest.
Okay.
Smaller campus, but it has everything that a student would want. Class sizes are roughly 20 students per professor. And anything under the scope of business that a student would want, we offer, from automotive aftermarket, sales, to healthcare management, entrepreneurship degrees, finance, accounting, the whole shebang.
So, Coach, I have a nephew, hypothetically, and he wants to play at Northwood University. And the situation is, again, this is hypothetical now, wink, wink. But the situation is, he wants to go to Michigan. He wants to go to Michigan State. But he don't know. I mean, he hasn't got that offer yet. How do you sell him on Northwood and say, hey, well, you may be waiting on Michigan. You may be waiting on Michigan State, but Northwood should be home for you. How do you sell that to a kid?
I would say the unique thing about being at the Division II level is most kids, and you want kids to have the highest aspirations. You want kids to want to go to the next level in the NFL. But the reality of the fact is, at certain time frames of the recruiting process, if they haven't been contacted by the Michigans or the Ohio States, then that's probably a sign that maybe they're not going to come calling. Mm-hmm. So when it speaks to the specifics of Northwood, I would like to tell them, you want to go to school for the next 4 years in preparation for your next 44 career years.
Sure.
And with that being said, Northwood's a great place because 90% of our seniors, 6 months before they graduate, they are already placed in their job within their major field, which I think is phenomenal.
Okay.
So that would be one of the biggest, as it relates to the academic side.
Got it.
Football side, the GLIAC is, bar none, top 2 or 3 conference in the United States of America. So if you want to play a great brand of football and you want to get the exposure that you feel you deserve, I think it's a great landing spot for any young athlete to come play. Also, the GLIAC, from a next level standpoint, is the leader in Division II with players that are in the NFL.
Coach Fillmore, now you said it's non-scholarship. Is
Yes,
that what
sir.
you said?
I did.
Now, how does that work? So, again, I'm sure, and you've been in other places as a coach, I'm sure.
That's correct.
How much of a challenge is that for you to get the players that you need to be successful?
I mean, it has its pros and cons, but I think in any line of the college world you're recruiting, you have pros and cons. Whether you're at Northwood, you got a lot of other top GLIAC schools in the state of Michigan. Correct. So when you look at things, you try to find young men that, like I said, are very well-rounded in the classroom and on the field.
Sure.
So when you look at that, you have guys our classes are going to usually be around 3.6 to the mid-20s when it comes to the ACT, between 1,100 and 1,300 on the SAT. Mm-hmm. So the con is, you want to say, is that, I'll say the pro when it comes to that, it clears up the recruiting world easy for me. Right. I can walk into a school and talk to a coach, like, hey, I really like this kid. He looks really good, on the field. How's he in the classroom? Well, coach, he's this. Okay, I can either continue or hey, it's next.
Right.
So there's pros to it. There's, obviously the financial piece to it. So you try to find some young man that, that value that education and want to truly invest into the future. And you talk about that 44-year commitment. That's truly what it is. When you look at Dayton and what it can bring to a young man, looking at the academic and athletic piece, we're third all time in all Division I, including FBS and FCS with academic All-Americans.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's including all the Ivies. That's including Stanford. That's including Notre Dame. We're tied for third, I think, with Notre Dame, and I think maybe Stanford and Nebraska might be 1 and 2. Wow. So that's the word you're going to be in when you're at University of Dayton.
And me and Coach Fillmore spoke today, and we talked about true student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be committed academically as well to play football. But and a lot of kids say, "Hey, Coach, I want to play in the NFL." Can he go to the NFL from Dayton, Coach Fillmore?
We've had 2 young men in the secondary the past 2 years, back to back. Not this particular season, but from 2017 and 2016, that signed free agent deals with the respective clubs of the Redskins and the 49ers. Mm-hmm. We will have a punter this year that will have a chance. I mean, he was averaging around 44 yards a punt.
Wow.
We actually have a young man, from Michigan, the Elk Rapids. I always say the North Pole. He's every bit of 6'5", 255 tight end for us that can play some ball.
Right.
And obviously you never can predict the future, but when you like to think of in terms of our next senior class, he might have a chance.
Good. So talk about education, Phil Moore. And we just talked about Norfolk education. Explain to us your best major. What's your best major, and just talk a little bit about the education.
When you look at our top two fields, that you see on our roster, you see business and you see engineering. And I was actually just having a conversation with one of our engineer professors this past weekend, and he said the student athletes in the engineering department have better GPA than the normal students. And that's just phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
And he was just kind of flabbergasted in terms of, hey, I don't understand how they do it, for the fact that, the obligations of playing ball and in the classroom, it takes a true special individual. And I like to think that's the guys that we're recruiting. Our fifth-year senior running back has done a great job he has the potential of being a two-time academic All-American in mechanical engineering, with almost a 3.9 GPA. So when you look at things like that, and you look at our starting safety that we had, it was All-American as well, was up for the Ronnie Lott Award, which is one of the top safeties in all of Division I. That's including FBS and FCS. He was academic All-American, and he actually spent time in India this past winter with an internship studying the infrastructure of India in terms of the population and the infrastructure of the country, and why there's such a big distance between the two. So when you look at the individuals that we have on our roster, and they're going to truly be special and have the opportunities to be very, very, very influential in terms of the future of the world.
Oh, wow.
And Dayton football, and I'll be honest with you, I remember Dayton back in the day for basketball.
Oh, for sure.
And I think they made it to
Elite Eight, maybe
Elite Eight.
Years ago.
Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
So, in comparison, and I don't know what they're doing now in basketball, but is Dayton now considered a football school?
It's definitely a basketball
Okay.
school. They just dumped $72 million of money into our basketball arena.
Great.
Which our locker room is in.
Okay.
We walk over there to the field.
Okay.
And I think the one thing that you would get is that we do very well in terms of when it comes to the athletics as a whole of having success, whether it be basketball, whether it be football, whether it be soccer,
Sure.
men's or women's. You got volleyball.
Okay.
I was just a couple years ago. I want to say football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and soccer all won their conference respectively in the same calendar year. So yes, when you look at the grand scheme of things, we are a quote unquote, basketball school. But with that being said, they do a very good job of paying the bill, so I can't. So go Flyers basketball.
So one more question for you, Coach Fillmore. I'm going to get to Coach Mitchell. I want to say back in, 93, 94, Dayton was actually known for Division I basketball and Division III football, and we spoke about this briefly. How does that work that we have a scholarship program in basketball and a non-scholarship program in football?
Well, the thing about it, I think it was the mid 70s. The university actually went from Division I scholarship football to Division III, and then they were doing so well, having won 4 national championships and three national runner-ups during the course of the 80s. The NCAA came and said, "Hold on, timeout. You guys are Division III football, but every other sport is Division I. We have to do something about that."
Right.
And so then they ended up moving to, the mid-major Division I AA, and that's where we've been ever since then.
Right.
And it was just, obviously this is a business move as far as the university, but at the same time, we've done very well. We're in a pioneer football league. There's been it's been in existence for 25 years.
Yes, correct.
And we've won 12 of those championships.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
when you look at the grand scheme of things, we're finding top student athletes and being able to produce at a high level on the field. So the school, is very happy in terms of what we're able to bring to the student population.
Okay, all right. Coach Mitchell, can you explain to us, when I went to Northwood, it's an NAIA program, and currently now it's an NCAA program. What is the difference? How does that work? And why the change?
Well, in my experience, I've coached in the NAIA before, 2 different schools, and now being in the NCAA Division II. The largest difference I would say between those two would be the fact that at the NAI level, you have you have 24 scholarships that you can offer. So a school can break that up however they wish. They can give 24 young men full rides, or they can give the equivalency of 24 full rides if it's broken down throughout their roster.
Okay.
At the Division II level, we have the equivalency of 36 full rides. All right, so that affords us the opportunity to bring in more student athletes that can play at a high level, and then still attain their degree. But it expands I would say, the depth of our rosters.
So what's the difference between competition? Is it a different competition? And I mean, because you can go to the pros from NAI as well.
Right.
You can. I mean, I feel like like the Field of Dreams says, if you build it, they'll come.
They'll find you.
If you're good, they'll
That's
find
right.
you.
That's
Like
right.
that. So, I mean, you've got guys who've never played a down of college football and are Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famers, like that.
Right.
But I will say that I think the
Antonio
overall,
Gates?
yes, that's what I was alluding to.
I'm thinking.
The overall pool of talent, I think there's talent in both pools, NAI, Division II, Division III, whatever the case may be. But I think that per capita is probably more higher caliber athlete at the Division II than it would be at NAI.
I want to switch gears a little bit. Like I said, we're going to have a professional calling in, Miss Cindy Shalter Saucedo. I don't want to slander her name, but she's a first response coordinator for Turning Point, and she handles domestic and sexual assault. As you brothers know, recently Kareem Hunt, the Kansas City Chiefs, got into a little shindig with a young lady that was caught on camera. And I guess apparently the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't know if they knew about it or he didn't give them the accurate information, but once the video was released, they released him. And I just wanted to get your thoughts, guys. I mean, you deal with college athletes, obviously, every day. And, you have Title IX and things like that. What's some of the things that you guys tell your players as it relates to with their girlfriends or however you want to term it? What's some of the things that you tell them to help them prevent them from getting these situations? And I'll start with you, Coach.
First off, I would say that, just being a father of a daughter, and a son. I have twins, boy and girl. So just the approach and the mindset is for young men is to respect women at all times.
No doubt.
You respect women, you respect yourself, you handle yourself accordingly. And if there's anyone in your life, especially a female, as a male, that you feel that will push you to the point of no return or push you to the point of making, an extremely bad decision, you need to remove yourself immediately from that situation.
Correct.
And I just think that there is zero tolerance, in our program, me personally in my own individual life, that, that can't happen. Mm-hmm. There's no excuse. I just feel that that's intolerable.
Well, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm gonna play devil's advocate
Yes, sir.
right now. Again, we have, especially in our community, so to speak, we come from different backgrounds, different dynamics in the household. Football is a violent sport.
Mm-hmm.
I played, and you want guys to be violent on the field.
Yes, sir.
And football, the brand of football as a whole is different now from when I came up. But now, you got to cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't hit a guy a certain way. Now you got to hold back. You got to do this. And then when it comes to their personal lives, you got to try to control that temper or what have you. Do you think that that's really a realistic approach? Do you think, you asking these guys to be, 85% of the time to be these tough guys, but then the other 15, 20%, hey guys, you can't do this, you can't do that. Do you think that's realistic, just to ask a guy that's playing this violent sport to say, hey, just walk away, and this just really doesn't have to be just with females. This could be a brother. This could be somebody else. I'll pose that to you, Coach Fillmore.
I personally think we have to hold them to that standard, because even with the game of football, it's a controlled anger.
Mm-hmm.
It's to a sense we got between that whistle, we have to be violent and be controlled with our quote unquote anger on that field. And if we're not able to do that out there, what are we going to be doing? Not only hurting yourself, but you're going to be hurting our team. So yes, I 100% we have to teach it that way.
Okay.
To be able to harness that. you know, that inner, you know, what we always talk about. We need
that aggression,
that dog,
right,
or,
right.
You know, so we have to be able to do that. And I would kind of to piggyback on Coach and talking about removing yourself from the scene. I tell my guys the 4 T's. So take time to think. You know, in all aspects, whether it's with a woman, whether it's with a friend, whether it's hey, you're studying for a test and a young lady might give you, hey, what you doing tonight? Hey, take time to think. You know, is it really time for that right now, or should you finish it up studying and then go over there after your test? I think if you have some things that you firmly believe in each and every day, it should help you in every situation you're in. And I think if you take time to think, that's literally stepping back, exhaling, counting to 10. Like,
right.
Cooler heads can prevail.
That's
so
right.
if you're able to be able to have some key foundation things, some things that you can truly build on in all aspects of your life. When you get in those situations right there, you hope that you hear coach's voice, or mom and dad's, or grandpa, auntie, uncle, whoever that might be in your corner, to be able to take that time to think and remove yourself from the situation.
What I want to do, guys, and you hang out with me for a minute, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring Miss Cindy Salter Saucedo from Turning Point. She's going to call in. So we'll be right back with the Prep Stars Football Report. Hey, Cindy.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. Okay, we're at a break, so we're just going to take one quick break. I'm just keep you on the phone, and when you come back, we're going to introduce you. We've got a couple coaches in with us, and my host, Mr. Reggie Wynn. So, and then I'm going to introduce you, and maybe like another 45 seconds. We'll be right back. So just hang out for us. Okay. Thank you, Cindy.
Okay.
All right.
Of course.
Tilt your makeup, right?
Yeah.
You keep talking to the top of it. You sound like shit.
Oh. Okay.
You gotta talk into the front of it, and you raise your mic up closer to your face. Yeah.
Okay.
Much better.
Is this better?
No, tilt it up at the neck.
I'm the best.
How about that?
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect.
We talked to her a little bit, and I want to let you guys talk about what you need for recruiting, what we need academically.
I got you.
So then you can kind of set
Right.
the program. Because the biggest piece is what you set the program.
Okay.
And then it helps you out recruiting.
And we'll segue back into that.
Okay.
So once we get her,
Look for Starbucks coffee in a grocery store near you.
Yep.
Then sit back and enjoy the exceptional taste of Starbucks at home.
Ready?
Yep. Welcome back to the Prep Stars Football Report. I'm your host, Derek Denham. And as always, got my man, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins in the house. On the phone, we have Miss Cindy Salter Saucedo. And she's the first response coordinator for Turning Point, which handles domestic and sexual assault. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. I want to let you know we have Mr. Coach Phil Moore from Dayton University. He's assistant football coach there. And Mr. Avant Mitchell, he's from Northwood University, and also my co-host, Mr. Reggie Wins. And before we went to break, Cindy, we were talking about the Kareem Hunt situation. The former Kansas City Chief running back who was just released for attacking a young lady, which was caught on camera. And as you and I talked before, we recently had a segment where we were talking about Title IX. So while we got you, we kind of want to pick your brain. Again, this whole Title IX thing, and I'm kind of foreign to it, but we want you to first put that in layman terms for us as far as Title IX, if you would.
Well, Title IX is it's just another way for people to be able to report that they were harassed on any sort of basis of gender, race, any of those things. So any of the government agencies or those receiving federal funding have to have a Title IX coordinator in order to protect their students in particular, because it's all on college campuses, if they report that they were harassed in any sort of way or they lost something as a result of their age, their race, their gender, how they identified. And so this is another way to be able to have a tool that holds people accountable for discriminating.
Sure. And how prevalent is this right now, Cindy? I mean, around the country as far as these universities, how prevalent would you say that this is? Because again, like I said, we had Mr. Ray Buford. He's a Detroit police officer, and his son, Ray Buford Jr., went through the situation at the University of Minnesota a few years back, but he was never charged. So, it's like, well, he wasn't charged, and then what Ray was saying to us was the staff, the actual school staff, really takes charge of the investigation. So, again, it's so much misinformation, and that's why I'm glad you're on the show to help us, again, put it in layman terms. What would you say to a young man out there that's, or a parent that has a child or a student athlete at school, man or woman? Because we know it's just not about, men getting into situations. Women can get in these situations as well. As far as the preventive action, what would you say to them?
I would say absolutely reach out. You have the right to tell somebody what is going on with you. And there are laws that protect you from any sort of retaliation for coming forth and telling somebody what is happening to you, because this is the most underreported crime. So we want to make sure that people are aware that they have the right to speak up, to have a voice, to talk to somebody about what's happening. I would encourage parents, I would encourage students, I would encourage anybody who is being discriminated against on any sort of basis to be able to find the safe person in their workplace or in their college campuses or wherever they're at, and report that because they have the right to not have to go through that. It is unacceptable, and people should be held accountable for it.
Cindy, this is Reggie.
Hi, Reggie.
Hi, my question is, if you don't get charged criminally, how do you get expelled from a school through Title IX?
Well, the one thing about when you report something for Title IX, it has to go through another agency. So you report what is happening, and you have to really make sure that you're not vague in what's going on. You've got to be very, you got to say exactly what is happening, and then it gets reported to a coordinator. That person then is going to report it to another agency. And in this case, it's going to be the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And so every state has one, and you report it to that person. And so then it goes through the process of what needs to happen at that point. So there are other outside agencies and entities that actually take a look at what's going on. So it's not just with the college. So there's no bias. Somebody from the outside agency looks at what's happening, and then they make a determination as to what's happening. So it's really a lengthy process, but it's something that is in place for people to protect them.
Wow.
So shifting to the Kareem Hunt situation, who was just recently released from the Kansas City Chiefs. And Cindy, I don't know if you had a chance to see the video that TMZ released, but it was pretty graphic. And it sounds like that the Kansas City Chiefs, they investigated it. They asked him, hey, what happened? He gave his side of the story. They took it for granted for what he said. And then once the video was released, it almost seems like they tried to save face. And then they said, hey, we're going to release you. And I think what people are saying that she called him a few different names, she taunted him, what have you. You know, and again, being a man myself, sometimes we get in situations where, you know, a young lady she knows the buttons to push. You know, she knows you. See, hey, you know, hit me. You know, and you got to. We're taught what? This is all young men here in the studio. We're taught to just walk away. What would you say to people like us that, you know, or she may even lay hands on you? What would you say to us to try to help us to avoid these situations, or how should we handle it?
Well, you know, talking about domestic violence is a very difficult topic. It's a very complex situation, and a lot of times there's a lot of misconceptions around it.
Sure.
And so we have a lot of misconceptions about the fact that we've got women who are pushing buttons and saying these certain things. And what happens is that when somebody does come forth, and remember, these are really underreported crimes. So when somebody does come forth and has the courage to say, this is what happened to me, And the consequences of that are met with, well, we're going to believe your side of the story, but all of a sudden this video appears, and they have no choice but then to take action because we have proof that what she said occurred. Now, it's been my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I may have misinformation myself, but it's my understanding that Kareem Hunt was released because of his dishonesty. He was not honest when he talked about what happened.
Correct.
He stated he was still in his hotel room, yet the video surfaces, and that's why he's released.
That's correct.
He's not held accountable for the fact that he assaulted somebody. He was left, he to leave his job as a result of being dishonest. So when we do that and we send that message out there, what we say is that, you know, for the women out there watching that, the messages often are received that, you know, you're causing an inconvenience to this person. You know, women are ruining people's lives and ruining their careers. And so when we see how an athletic team fails to respond to allegations appropriately, you know, then it comes at the expense of women and safety. And what that says is that female victims don't matter and male athletes are more valuable. And so those are the message that people get.
Wow. I think we all saying wow in the studio, Cindy. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Again, it's a big business. And unfortunately, you know, money rules the world. And I mean, you have people like, again, Kareem Hunt and then Ray Rice. They had this certain situation.
Fielder from
Kay Fielder from Oakland University, NBA player. He just got reported. Same situation. And then tell us a little bit about your role in you know, dealing with domestic violence and sexual assault. When it gets to you, what do you do with it, or if it's presented to you or a case, how do you deal with that? What's your role with that?
My role with that is, for 24 years, I've been in the field of working with victims of domestic and sexual assault.
Sure.
My one role at our agency is the first response coordinator, and so that is for the forensic nurse examiner program, and that's where the nurses do DNA collection from those who've been victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, strangulation. We also do suspect exams there. So my role is as a crisis interventionist there. I have seen as young as days old and as old as almost 100 at that facility. My second role there at the agency is to provide counseling and therapy for those who've been victims of and witnessed to. So I have a couple of different hats that I wear at the agency, but it's all primarily with victims of crime. So I've seen quite a bit. I've heard quite a bit. I've heard what women have been said to. They've said things like, you know what, this person is just this, or this person is just that, or, you know, why do you want to make this report? You're going to ruin this person's life. This person's a football star. You're going to ruin his career in football. So women hear those things all the time. It's not an isolated incident. Over the 24 years, we do a lot of victim blaming, more so than we hold perpetrators and batterers and abusers accountable, because a lot of times, even in sports, we're more worried about the branding than we're worried about the human being. And that is really sad, and those messages come off very strongly to those who've been victimized, and therefore that's what makes them not want to come forth and report it, because they already know what could occur as a result of that. There's a lot of retaliation. There's a lot of victim blaming that happens.
I think Coach Mark Fillmore from Dayton University has a question for you, Cindy.
How you doing, Cindy?
Absolutely.
I just had a quick question.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, what the coach is sitting here, and you know, we've talked a little bit before you came on air in reference to, you know, how do we help our guys, you know, to avoid situations like this? Do you have anything that you could share or maybe help us out in terms of trying to mentor the young men that, you know, that could find themselves in this opportunity to, you know, to help avoid or to try to, you know, just avoid the situation as a whole?
Cortella, yeah.
Absolutely. It is so important that the adults in the lives of these impressionable young men and women are given positive role models. They have to be educated about what this looks like. They have to know what the signs are, especially if they're in a relationship that's not healthy. You know, what does that look like? A lot of times, you know, they don't recognize that what's happening to them is actually domestic violence. And a lot of times I will ask women in particular, you know, if you were to go out with somebody and he hit you alongside the head, when you were on a date for the first time, would you go out with them again? And, you know, I get astoundingly, oh, no, I would never go out with this person again. But see, that's what happens. It's not easy to tell at the beginning of a relationship if something is going to become abusive. So we have to teach our kids what it looks like and what to do about it if it's really happening. And we have to model behavior for them. We have to hold batterers accountable, and we have to really send very clear message about what healthy boundaries are, what consent looks like, what healthy relationships are. And that's really important to the adults in their lives to be able to model what that looks like and to hold them accountable if they're behaving in a way that is unacceptable.
So, Cindy, if you were the commissioner of NFL and the situation of Ray Rice and Kareem Hunt, would you let them play again?
No. No.
Protecting the
I would
brand.
not, because I think there is got to be accountability. And I think a lot of times what we do is we send messages to men as well. Look, hey, guys, you made a mistake. Just apologize, and here's a second chance. I think that we have to set the tone from the beginning. If you want to be a part of this team, this is how we operate, and nothing will be acceptable if you do this. I think we really have to put it very strongly out there. Domestic violence is common. It is preventable.
Sure.
We all own a piece of how we can stop this. And the end result of domestic violence is death. So when you have every 5 days in the state of Michigan somebody dying as a result of domestic violence, this is a very serious issue, and it needs to be taken as such.
Go ahead, Reg.
So, Cindy, what is the correction of action on campus? I know every campus has a Title IX coordinator. Are the schools fulfilling different game plans or meetings to help these kids with this situation?
Yes, they're trying really hard. I know for our agency alone, we understand how prevention is the key to this. And so we really try to get into the schools and educate our kids about what is going on and how the relationships look like and the results of what could happen. You know, give them all of the information that is needed, that is out there. And we've seen 3,000 students just this year. We provided 300 presentations. It's something that we always do. I know there are people willing to come in and educate and train. And so sometimes coaches need to understand how much training that they possibly need in order to be able to provide that information to their team, because that's really key too. Because if you don't know what domestic violence is or how to combat it, then how can you possibly educate your team about the effects and what the consequences are if you don't have all the accurate information yourself?
Okay. I want to change the gears a little bit. There's a case that's in Liberty that transpired, I want to say a year ago. Two gentlemen was with a young lady, and lady actually lied. The two boys was expelled through Title IX. What happened to the boys? Do they have the opportunity to go back and play at some other university, or their career is just done?
And Cindy, before you answer, I want to chime in on that. And this is just my personal opinion. I feel that if someone falsely accuses you of this, your life is destroyed. I feel like they should be prosecuted.
And she actually was. They gave her 45 days, but she was.
What you say about that, Cindy?
Oh, absolutely. Because that on the flip side of it as well, that is not acceptable either. But I can tell you that 2 to 9% actually will say that there was a false report against somebody. It's a very low percentage, and it does happen.
Sure.
But you can be charged with a felony for making a false police report, because you certainly don't want that as well. But even out of that 2 to 9%, some of those women who came forth and said, this didn't happen, I don't want to deal with this anymore, I lied. They found out that even in that small percentage, those women said that it didn't happen just because it was too much for them to deal with when they were going to court. So they didn't want to have to go through victimization anymore. They didn't want to have to go through court. They didn't want to face their abuser anymore. And it became too much. And so they backed off. And so it's even lower than that. So it's a very, very, very low percentage of people that say that I lied.
Okay, and I agree, and you're right, but that percentage does happen to the young men. How do we save their career? Because now they can't go no other school because they have a Title IX case pending or against them. How do we fix that so them kids can go back to school? Because they expel, majority of colleges would not accept these kids back
Because they have
into
that
university.
stigma. They have
Right.
that stigma now.
Absolutely, there is a stigma. And so while we've got this percentage of people that are dealing with that, I can tell you that with the EEOC, the Equal, Opportunity, the agency that oversees all of that, they go through a very lengthy process. It would never get to the end of that where any charges are brought against anybody unless there was full proof of what was going on. So they are the commission that is overseeing everything to be able to say, this is what we can and cannot do. Sometimes it just ends up in mediation. Sometimes it ends up in front of a judge. Sometimes charges are brought. And so if it got to the tail end where charges were brought and these people were held accountable for an action, I can tell you that the process is very lengthy, and the chances are very low that that was a false allegation.
Well, Cindy, I just want to say, you have brought a lot of great information to us, and what we want to do, I would love to set something up like a seminar, because we, as football players, as football guys, we focus on, and we talked about this before, 40s, how fast a kid can run, how high they can jump, how big they are.
Yeah.
But I don't think we do enough of have these conversations. And I would love to bring you back and maybe set something up where we can have almost like a town hall, so you can help us, talk to these kids and help. Because again, there's so many different dynamics out there. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And I just think you would be great. It would be great to have you come back and talk to some of our athletes.
I would love to have a dialogue with the athletes. That would be an amazing opportunity.
Well, Cindy, again, thank you so much, and I speak for everyone in the studio. Thank you for bringing us that information, and we definitely look forward to talking to you again real soon.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
What we're gonna
Bye,
do?
guys.
Bye. What we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with our coaches and my co-host, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins, and then after that, we got a segment with the high school kids that's gonna be coming in from West Bloomfield and Farmington Hills Harrison. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the Prep Stars Football Report.
Give you a quick 5 minutes, let you guys talk about program.
I know.
Yeah, we've come this far, but can we finish what we started?
5 more minutes.
Do we have it in us?
After that, we'll take another break.
Can we get back at it?
Yeah.
And keep grinding.
Okay.
Because the second we think we've given everything, we're gonna give more. Because this is our moment. We are made for this.
Whatever you're made for, Gatorade is made to fuel it.
You want to get another? You want to have another? No, good. You good. You just sit.
No, y'all need to scoot over here.
Oh, yes, coach.
Okay.
Back there.
Welcome back to the Prep Stars Football Report. I'm your host, Derek Denham, and I got my man, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins. We've got Dayton University football assistant coach, Mr. Mark Fillmore, along with Northwood University assistant football coach, Avant Mitchell. Reg, I know you had a few more questions.
Fillmore, first of all, Fillmore, give me a little bit about your background. Where you from? University, play ball. Just give me a little background about you.
Well, originally born and raised in Columbus, Ohio.
Boo. Columbus.
I can't lie. I did grow up being a Buckeye fan. And at that time, y'all was destroying me, man, with Tim Biaka-Batuka in those days. And when it came to Michigan, always putting a whipping on the Bucks. But that love quickly left when I went to college and went to Northwestern myself. And I played ball for all 4 years there.
Great.
And had some success. Was able to sign a free agent deal with the Chicago Bears outside of that and had my quick little 15 minutes and then end up actually going overseas for 6 years.
Okay.
And I was overseas playing and coaching. Had a chance to start the game of football in India a little bit for about a year. Was in Poland for about 5 years playing and coaching and had an urge to just want more for myself professionally and decided to come back in December of 2015 to coach college football. In the first year and a half I was back, I was coaching a Division II school in West Virginia called West Virginia Wesleyan.
Oh, yeah.
In the Mountain East Conference with the likes of Shepherd, Fairmont State, Notre Dame College, I think, who's in the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken,
Final Four,
going to get, with Ferris State or whatever. And
but also.
Had an opportunity to move to the University of Dayton. The offensive coordinator there was a senior O-lineman when I was at Northwestern and had an opening for the receiver position, and I took it, and I've been there ever since.
Good. Vaughn, tell us something about yourself as well.
My background's not quite as expansive as coaches. But
You're not from Columbus, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'm actually home. I'm from Detroit.
Okay,
so,
that's what's up.
This is a good blessing for me to be at Northwood University right now. I recruit this area. I'm from this area. I grew up here, so it's that's been a blessing. I've been at I helped start the program at Concordia University in Ann Arbor. From there, I was at Taylor University, where I was the defensive coordinator there. And then now I'm here at Northwood University. I've been here for the last 3 years. Prior to that, I started my coaching career. I'm coaching high school ball here in Metro Detroit. I've been at quite a few schools there. Married, twins, got married early and, kind of worked my way up through the ranks, and I'm here now.
Good. Can you tell our listeners, or what should you tell a listener about recruiting when you're recruiting your prospects?
I think the biggest thing that you can, tell, especially, maybe not the 2019 class, somebody's on the tail end of it, but they still can probably, use the wisdom for the 2020, 2021. The biggest thing is, be available. When coaches are going around to different schools and you're not there, or, you don't have your information up to date. I mean, you are your own business. So, if I'm going into a school to see you, have your transcripts on you. Don't rely on the coach. Have that sheet filled out where, if you don't have it on you, the secretary or the compliance or the counselor can actually print out your transcript. So the coach is not waiting and things in that nature. Or, have your contact information on your huddle, because sometimes, it's a little bit of a, some coaches are impatient, and
no doubt about it.
And when you have, depending on, for myself, I'm recruiting the entire state of Michigan, and that's a lot of guys to go through. When I get back in, to Dayton, Ohio, I want to have upwards to about 100 receivers that I have to evaluate.
Right.
Have your top clips
in front.
And if you play offense and defense, you might be better off just making two different highlights, because if you have it at the tail end of it, I guarantee they're not going to see it.
It's funny you said that, Coach. I took my great nephew to Notre Dame, and Coach Todd Light. Quick story, and Todd Light said he's a DB, and he said, so DJ, what do you like best? You like receiver, you like slot running back, whatever, cornerback, and he's like, I love defense. He said, well, I didn't get to your defense stuff. And as you know, sometimes you guys may look at the film for a minute, and then.
Especially when you're grading upwards of 100 receivers, for myself personally, Hey man, I need you to wow me right now, to intrigue me to continue to watch.
Sure.
No doubt about it.
I love blocking, but you don't need to start it off with a blocking rep.
And is that really a highlight?
You obviously, I would rather see your physical nature in terms of maybe that first clip, for example, if it's a receiver and you play DB and you're a returner, okay, I want to see a big time catch. I want to see a play on defense. I want to see a big play on. I'm like, oh, okay, he can do a little bit.
He can do everything, right?
Yeah. I want to know more. It's a little bit of appetite. I want to watch more.
Okay,
that type of thing.
Okay,
so if you are versatile and you do multiple things, show that right then and there.
Got you.
Intrigue me to want more.
Yeah,
that type of thing. And I don't want to take everything from coach. If you talk a little bit about it, but my biggest thing is have your information available. I don't need pictures. We don't need pictures.
Music. What about music?
I don't mind the music because usually I always have it off anyway.
Yeah.
So
okay.
But the biggest thing is have your contact information available. Like I said, you are your own LLC. So
no doubt.
Have your information ready.
Build your brand.
And if I say, hey, how are you doing in the classroom? I'm doing well. But what does well mean, sir? What is well? I need numbers. What's that GPA looking like? What's those test scores looking like? Because some guys are not as well as others, or good as others. So give me I need the numbers so I can back it up, show me that, oh man, he's really taking his future in his hands.
Right. What about you, Coach Mitchell?
What I would just add to that is, I think that there needs to be a level of teaching and education given to parents of middle schoolers, to be totally honest with you.
Middle schoolers,
because, and when I mean that from an academic standpoint and a foundational standpoint, because we meet so many young men. Coach, I'm sure you do the same. You meet so many sophomores, juniors, seniors that we get the spiel from the coaches. Oh, well, coach, he didn't come in the right way. He didn't have his mind right, and now it is there. Midway through their junior year, he's getting it turned around. But the reality of the fact is, you have 8 semesters, typically, unless you're at a school with trimesters. But you have 8 semesters to prove who you are as a student.
Right.
And you might have a 3.3, this semester of your senior year, but you've been rolling with a 2.2. Well, the weight of that 3.3 does not move your GPA enough to help you in what we're trying to do for you. So when I go back to the middle school, elementary level, and it sounds drastic, but that foundation needs to really be put in at that point. So when they hit the door as high school freshmen, when the transcript begins to count, now you can be on an upward, climbing forward. Because, like Coach said, you are your business. You have to represent yourself, and you are a student athlete. Athletics is just a byproduct. Yes, that is what our field is. That's what our duty is to do. To go out and attain students to come in and play ball. But you have to you got to conquer that first.
Gotcha.
And I know we got that much time, but a couple more questions. How important is social media for you guys?
It's huge.
And how important is a conversation with the coach about that player?
So social media, just in 2018, approaching 2019, is very big. And I think going back again, piggybacking off what Coach said about the being your own business, you are your own billboard. You have to sell yourself. And I'm a big proponent of looking at the things that Mari recruits. I follow Mari recruits on social media, and I like to see the type of statements, the things they put out, the type of information they put into the system, because to me, that's a representation of the person.
That's great.
And I need to understand, okay, am I going to have to chase this young man for the next 4 years to pull him out of bed to get him to class? Am I have to go to get him out of jail? Whatever the case may be, just be totally honest with you.
It's been done.
It has, and it happens. And I think that, what you put out there represents yourself.
Sure.
It represents your character and the type of person you are. And first and foremost, yes, we all want great athletes on the field. We want good people, because people are what make and what build your program.
No doubt.
And that's the thing. That is the thing. Who are you? Who are you when no one else is around? And unfortunately, now kids are so immature, they don't understand that what they put out there, it tells us who you are.
Right.
So that's what I would say about social media.
Well, I just want to thank you, brothers, for coming in. I'm sorry, Coach Fillmore. Go ahead.
Nah, I like to think of recruiting as I'm drawing a picture, trying to connect those dots. So
Sure.
you look at your academics is a dot. Your social media is your dot. Your huddle film is a dot.
Right.
And then that to tie all those dots together is that coach. And without that, the picture can't be finished.
Got you.
You know, so when it comes down to it, we're going to look at that coach and kind of say, hey, how is he? When things get tough, like what can I expect from that young man?
Right.
And quite honestly, we take we that holds weight. And a dot that I failed to mention is, and Coach, I'm sure you've seen it. When you walk into a school and the secretary's there and you say, hey, can I speak to John Smith? Like, oh my coach, he is an excellent young man. Those little conversations you don't understand hold a lot of weight.
Goes a long
And
way.
when you're trying to sell like we are when we get back to campus,
Right.
Like, hey coach, man, it's this kid from Detroit, great home, blah blah blah. And, the one thing I love is when I walked into that school and I mentioned that kid's name, that secretary lit up.
Wow.
Like those little things when you're trying to
Little nuances.
mean a big deal when you have
okay.
guys when it's athletically about the same, academically about the same, but those little things there can make or break you.
I got one more question, and then we're going to bring the high school guys in. What about when you have a coach, and we call it player hate? Well, what about that coach that you go in to see a kid, and you've done your homework on the kid. He's like, no. Well, you need to look at this guy over here. Have you guys ever been in those situations? How do you handle that, or what do you say to parents? In those situations.
Well, I think it just comes down to you doing your due diligence and trusting your discernment as a person.
Sure.
When it relates to delving into and vetting that recruit, but you highly respect what a coach says, and that at the same time your relationship and rapport that you've built with the player, you need to see through that. I learned something from Coach Tom Osborne from Oregon years ago, and he was telling me about how their recruiting process went and how thorough it was. He said they would not offer a young man until they have spoken to 5 people around in that player's circle of influence. And like you said, from secretaries to principals to counselors to pastors, to people that are around that young man. And that really it spoke a lot to me on like the depths we need to go to kind of really vet a young man, because the thing is,
does that apply to a Herschel Walker or a Bo Jackson? And I'm giving you my age a little right now.
Is that what you're saying?
Right. I'm saying, and that sounds good, and I hear what you're saying over there, but, you got that stud. You got that Donovan Peoples-Jones, the number 1 receiver in the country. Does that apply? And I'm just hypothetically,
I think the thing is, and I would just say that the greatest athlete on the field, whoever that may be, the examples you gave,
right.
But if they're knuckleheads, if they're not be honest with you, quality people,
sure.
Can you build your program around that?
No.
Can you have 50 of those? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, as coaches, if a kid is a certain caliber and a head coach in the program wants to take a risk, then maybe so. But, I mean, we feed our families on what 18 to 22-year-olds
No
do.
doubt.
So.
Well, guys, I want to, again, say thank you for coming in. Coach Fillmore, Coach Mitchell, man, we appreciate you guys bringing the insight. We'd love to have you guys back at some point, maybe after the season, where I know you guys are busy, but probably haven't, sleep deprived and haven't ate. But, again, we appreciate you brothers, man.
No doubt. Definitely appreciate you guys having us out here.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, what we want to do, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Mr. Trey Mosley from West Bloomfield, Mr. Lance Dixon, and then also Mr. Roderick Hurd from Farmington Hills Harrison. When we come back with the Prep Stars Football Report.
Hey, this is Jesse Mangum, father of Jaron Mangum, and you're listening to the Prep Star Football Report.
You liked that, didn't you?
Next gonna be movie.
I know. Welcome back to the Prep Stars Football Report. I'm your man, Derek Denham. And I got my man, Mr. Reggie Booby Wins, as always, in the house. Bang, bang. Reg, do us a favor. Do the introductions for us, man.
Introduction.
Introduce these brothers, these fine young men to our listeners.
Well, I'm going to start down here with the Spartan. Trey Martin, 6'2", wide receiver out West Bloomfield.
Trey
Mosley. What I call you, Trey?
See, I think he had a martini probably before.
No, Trey Mosley. I'm sorry, Bert. Bellamy, my bad. Trey's my baby. I'm thinking about something else. Trey Mosley.
It's all good.
Ice Trey.
6'2" wide receiver from Pontiac, Yagtown, Michigan.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Was going to Michigan State. Great ball player, corner, wide receiver, DB, kicker, punter. He can do it all. Worked out with me for the last 2 years, and one of my babies is working hard. Leaves in January. Then on the right of me, I got the man with all position, Roderick Hurd Jr.
Okay.
Sorry, Dad, I said Junior. And Roger Hurd was going to Northwestern, played running back, corner, DB, quarterback, offensive guard, tackle. Played all position, and he's going to Northwestern in January as well. Then on the left of me is 6'3", 200-pound, 40-inch vertical, 4'4", 40, All-America from Michigan at West Bloomfield, is committed to Penn State, leaving in January, Lance Dixon. We're so happy you guys are here.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. And what we gonna do? We got Mr. Sean, our Michigan State insider. Just for you, Trey.
Okay.
Sean, what's up, bro?
What's going on?
Hey, we got somebody in here for you today, man. We got Mr. Trey Mosley, West Bloomfield's finest in the house. Say hello to Sean, Trey.
How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing wonderful. How you guys doing?
We doing good.
Hey, and also, Sean, we've got Mr. Lance Dixon, Penn State commit. From West Bloomfield.
Get it right, baby.
Hey, don't want to mess that up.
Don't get that wrong.
And then we got Mr. Rod Hurd from Farmington Hills Harrison. He's a Northwestern commit. So, hey, Sean, tell us a little bit about these brothers, man. What you know about these cats?
I saw Trey Mosley, and he's electric. I mean, he's got that breakaway speed. He's got that third gear. I mean, some players have 1, 2. He's got that third notch where he can take it to the next level. I was really impressed with the limited film. I saw him play defensive back. And he's got the opportunity to play early at Michigan State. I mean, if he comes in and learns his blocking assignments and can run that route tree, I see him making a really impact. Penn State, Franklin's getting a outstanding outside linebacker. He can play inside linebacker, outside. I cannot say enough.
Man, you choke it up over Lance, man. Go ahead.
He plays sideline to sideline. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He knows his assignments, and he's a leader.
Right.
So, I mean, he's going to the linebacker U, and Penn State's getting a great kid. And so I forgot the third one that you got.
Rod Hurd.
Studio.
Rod Hurd, Farmington Hills Harrison's finest, cornerback.
Yup, dynamite player. I mean, that kid is a playmaker as well. So, I mean, you got a lot of talent. A lot of those kids, I mean, if they stick to the plan, they follow what the coaches say, you know, they stay out of trouble, they all have the ability to play at the next level if they put their mind to it.
Well, they're going to stay out of trouble. Now, I mean, I know Trey's dad, so, and you got a big fella over here, and I met your dad, Rod, so.
Hey, Sean, you forget. Trey dad is 6'5", 6'6". And he's a strength coach. Hold on now. I'm going over to Lance dad. Lance dad is 6'3", about 275.
Right.
Don't play. Now, and if dad don't get him, his mama don't play. Now, Mr. Hurd over here, Roger Hurd Sr., I'm a little afraid of Rob, but I'm more afraid of the mama. Because she don't play. So they know.
So Trey, hey, talk a little, and Sean, you can chime in, but Trey, talk a little bit about your season, man.
You know, I left everything I had out there for my senior season. You know, playing both ways this year, playing a little bit of DB, whatever's best for the team. So, head coach, Coach Bellamy, and the DB coach, Coach Cam, you know, they talked to me about possibly playing both ways earlier in the season.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, you know, if I need to do it, I would do it. And then later in the season, they called me, so I was ready.
Okay. And then what was the deciding factor as far as Michigan State is concerned? You know, and I know other schools are coming at you, but why Michigan State for you?
It was the best fit for me in terms of close to home, coaching staff, and the best place that could develop me in the classroom and on the field.
And Coach Samuel, wide receiver coach, great relationship with Coach.
Oh, yeah, me and Coach, we've been having a great relationship since the first day we met, you know. So that was definitely a huge factor in my decision.
So rumors have it that you know it's a possibility he might play defensive back. And I know you're a receiver, but I mean, like you said, you're gonna do what's best for the team.
Oh yeah, the team you play DB, I'm all for it.
Sorry, Samuel.
But are you open to playing both ways?
Oh, definitely.
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
I look at it this way, though. Look at a player that went to Michigan State 3 years ago, Justin Lang, one of a very highly, you know, wide receiver recruit coming out of high school. Coach D needed him to play corner, and he stepped up and he played as a true freshman and made an impact as a true freshman.
And now he's a possible
just played
draft
3
pick.
years at Michigan State, and now he's off to the NFL.
Yeah, draft pick.
I mean, that unselfish mentality of doing what's best for the team, you know, iron sharpens iron, and it's only going to make you better. I mean, it's just, hey, why not be a jack of all trades instead of just focusing on one thing? And I hate to say, DBs get paid higher in the league than wide receivers do.
No doubt about it.
Not enough. Not enough
doubt about
DBs.
it. And then now we talking about a DB, Mr. Rod Hurd. What's up, big fella?
What's going on?
So, I mean, you do a little bit of everything too, right?
Yes, I do.
Talking to your microphone so everybody can hear us a little bit.
Yeah, I do a lot of everything.
So what do you enjoy, man? Do you enjoy playing corner, your running back, receiver? What's your?
I enjoy playing corner. Corner's my position.
Sure.
I train the most at. I put the most work in at. But the other positions are just, you know, the things I do to help my team out, win games. Playing running back, playing special teams, everything really.
Mm-hmm. And then you play for the legendary Coach.
Yeah, Coach Harrington.
Coach Harrington.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that, man.
It definitely is very special, you know, to, you know, be trained and coached by him.
Right. Okay.
Especially, you know, being the last season. You know, I appreciate, you know, everything he's done for me, and you know, he's taught me a lot.
Talk about the Netflix.
The Netflix. It was the last season this year, so we had a film crew come in and like film, you know, really everything since our summer weights program to all the way to the last game. They're coming to film the banquet and, you know, graduation. You know, trying to create a documentary, you know, for our last season.
Wow,
that's amazing. That is amazing. Real quick, I want to ask you, why did you choose Northwestern?
I chose Northwestern because I felt it was the best fit for me. Education, you know, top in the country.
No doubt.
Opportunity to play early. You know, going with great coaching staff.
Yep.
Great head coach.
Yep.
You know, stable coaching staff. And then
Been there forever.
Yeah.
It's been there forever.
Yeah. And it's all about family. Like, you know, it's very, you know, family oriented.
Orient. We got
you.
you.
Know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. But it's a great place to be. And, you know, you want to be successful, go to Northwestern.
And that campus, hey, look. Hey, Chicago, man, I mean, that new
facility.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
they putting,
you know,
the new
nice.
facility.
Hey,
look, Trey. Hey, look, Trey.
That's
both
nice.
Trey and
That's
Lance.
nice.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So.
Okay. And then what about you, big fella?
Why did you choose Penn State?
Lance Dixon. What's up, man?
Why did I choose Penn State?
Yeah, tell us Penn State.
Well, I mean, reason I chose, couple reasons I chose
Okay.
Penn State. One of the reasons would be the coaching staff. Another reason would be it's the best fit for me, but it's like it's more than that. It's like I felt as soon as I stepped foot on the campus, I felt like it was just like a second home. It didn't feel like I took a 6-hour drive. It felt like I went 2 minutes down the street or something. And you know, I was with my dad and my mom, and it just felt right. So, you know, that's another reason. And another reason would be, you know, I have an opportunity to play early.
Sure.
And that's a big thing for me because I'm trying to do the best that I can with my genetics or whatever. I'm trying to do the best that my parents set me up for. So I think that I will have a great opportunity at Penn State.
And you get to play with our family, like Mr. KJ Hamler.
Yes, sir.
So we a little biased, but welcome to the family. But I mean, all three of you brothers, man, phenomenal.
Well, the best part about it is I'm not a high school coach no more. So the best part about this to me is to travel. All you guys are in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be fun going to. I'm going every weekend to a game.
Right.
I do it now.
Right.
And I'm gonna do it then, and I want to see you guys play. And that's the fun about being a coach, or being through the Rising Stars. All the guys you see that you trained or helped. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be successful. I'm still gonna call you Lance, Trey, Rod. I'm gonna be up Northwestern rolling in the cement or the turf up in the new facility. I'm gonna be down there chasing Lance around the field. I'm gonna be up here on the sideline talking to Trey, and enjoying the process, because now you guys went from one extreme to another, and it's a blessing. And I watch you guys grow up, because I know Lance wanted to play safety. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it just, I know he still can do it. I know, but it's just a blessing to watch you guys grow. We didn't mention this. Lance has been elected to, and tell us about this, elected to the All-American Bowl. It was the Army game, and we just had that conversation.
Yeah, we just
last
had
week.
Mr. Eric Richards.
So one, congratulations,
Yep.
too, and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a couple people at Penn State. They've been telling me about the game. They got their jerseys and stuff. They've been telling me it's like, it's a life experience, a big life experience. You're going to remember it for the rest of your life.
No doubt.
So, I'm excited to go and participate in. I don't plan on, going that hard. It's a.
You're going hard.
I mean,
no, you going hard.
You going hard.
You gotta go hard.
I'm gonna do my best. I think the competitive
It's gonna
spirit.
change.
Hey, look, Mr. Eric Richards.
I think competitive spirit will take over.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't think it is. Trust me.
It is.
Hey,
Better call Donnie Cooley and them. They'll tell you.
we had the director of that game on our show
Last
week.
Yes, last
so
week.
you definitely want to let him know you're gonna play hard, okay?
All right, yeah,
okay.
I got you.
Hey, Sean, I want to bring you back into the conversation. Lance, were you offered by Michigan State?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Rod?
No.
So
Michigan State should have offered Mr. Hurd. I don't. It's just he's got that talent. I don't know. I don't write about it, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. So.
Well,
I think Michigan State should have offered you.
I say this, Sean, and we let two good guys get out of Michigan again.
Right.
That's Lance Dixon as well. That's Rod Hurd. They got Trey, but it's a marriage. So Michigan State like what they like, and that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. We love Trey, and we're gonna go see Trey, and it's okay. That's what Michigan State like, and that's I keep telling people, recruiting is about what you want, not what somebody else think you should have.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
So it's okay. I mean, again, the blessing part about it, Sean, is going watching boys at different fields and playing against each other. That's the blessing part about it.
No doubt.
Sean, can you explain to these guys about early enrollment and why?
It will help.
Okay.
The opportunity to early enroll at a school will help you academically to put yourself in a position to do things that you wouldn't be able to do because of how many credit hours you can get in. You can take part in winter conditioning, and you can realize that, wow, I used to be the biggest, fastest, strongest person on my team. Now everyone around me is bigger, faster, and stronger. So it can kind of start to prepare you mentally instead of coming in June and July. And the biggest thing that I see is it allows players to, I don't know how much film they watch now, but it's nowhere close to the amount of film that they're going to watch. And being able to literally realize that you're going to eat, sleep, and drink, and that's all you're going to do is football. That's what it's going to be about if you want to be that guy. So I just think it helps them also adjust to, off the field stuff,
No doubt.
how to handle yourself socially and, not coming home and having mom, dad, or your legal guardian always there. So it's a huge. If my child ever had the opportunity, I would tell them to take full advantage of it. I mean, I look at a player like Mike Sadler when he played at Michigan State.
Sure, kicker.
He was in his 5th year, and he was like already achieving, graduating, his bachelor's and moving on to his master's, and he was doing a lot of stuff that a lot of players, look at Darian Harris, what he did, and early enrolling, and there's a lot of things that you can take advantage of. If you have that opportunity, definitely do it, because it will change. You'll just be a better student athlete all around.
I just want to give a shout out to, we got some of our Facebook fans. Mark Stokes, I see you out there. Nephew Ray Hamler in the house. Rashawn, X-Man Goldsmith's dad. What's up, big fella? I got Miss Red Jasmine Hunter. What's going on? I know little Hunter just had her first game. And then Mr. Khalid Yassin. What's up, big fella? And then our man Dante Ellenwood. Just wanted to shout out there to them. Go ahead, Red. You had something.
Sean, can you explain to the guys? I know there's a lot of guys that went early and have not played. Can you explain why? I mean, because the purpose of going early is taking an opportunity to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can probably think of a million reasons why, but I don't know the actual answer. But is there some kids? I mean, here's my problem, and I'm not going to state no names. There's a couple guys that went early has not even played one down. So it could be many reasons. So I'm just trying to see if it's going early is really worth it for some people.
The thing is whatever college you go to, only 11 guys are going to be on the field, and that head coach and that position coach and that coordinator make those calls. And sometimes it's what you do off the field that prevents yourself from being able to step on the field. Sometimes it's student athletes not being able to understand that student comes before athlete. They're more worried about being an athlete but not taking care of their academics. Then you got to factor in injury. Or are they ready? I mean, they might physically be ready, but mentally, are they going to be ready? So it's program by program, school by school, coach by coach. Everyone has different standards in the way that, they make those decisions. So it's a case-by-case situation.
Right.
I think it's a blessing if you get a red shirt, because you just have that full year of knowledge that you can apply to the next 4 years of actually playing. So I don't know. I always look at things, you have an opportunity to learn. And, yeah, you might not play, but you're still part of a team, and you're playing at that level. That's a blessing. And if you're redshirted, I think it's another blessing, because it's just going to make you better in the long run.
And I agree, but I'm telling these three guys here, we're not going early to sit.
No, definitely not.
Because the most different is the lens to stay to turn it off, turn on. Ain't no turn off and turn on. You better be turned on when you step on campus, because guess what? They're expecting you guys to change the program around because they're bringing you in early. So we're not going to Penn State, Northwestern, or Michigan State to sit and watch and don't play a down. We're not doing that. Because you just dropped a lot. You could have went to the prom. You could put your bow tie on and your Chuck Taylors, and you could have went to the prom and had a great time. So I'm saying to you three guys, you don't know nothing about that. I'm saying it to you guys who's sitting on this table. Your life changed,
no doubt,
in January. Commitment to your life starts now. So when you step on that campus, we're not watching. We're not sitting down. We're not going to take a red shirt.
Yeah.
Franklin, Fitzgerald, Coach Danito, we're not doing that. So you bring this in early, we're going to have to make sure we're ready. And you're going to have to do everything you possibly can to be successful, because you're not going there and watch and sit down. And I mean that. If I got to drive over there every weekend, we're going to make that happen. And I mean that because of the fact if you're going there and you could do a lot of other stuff with your family. And you know that.
So, Trey, going to Michigan State, was being close to home one of the major factors for you?
Definitely. My parents and family have been supporting me this far, so I want to keep that going. I want them to be able to come to my games on Saturdays or whenever day we play and support me, so that played a huge factor in it.
So what about Big Brother up the street? Was you ever interested in Michigan?
yeah, definitely. You know, Michigan was one of my top schools. You know, and then when it boiled down, it came down to a few decisions within playing early and just coaching staff. It turned out my decision. So.
And your dad is a trainer because he actually worked with DJ.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that. I mean, what role did he play as far as your development?
Man,
I saw them heels.
My dad been putting me through it since I was about 5 years old. You know, he used to wake me up 7 o'clock in the morning, take me to Pontiac High, had me running miles on the track. I hated it back then, but now I can see it paid off. You know, without that, I don't think I would be here right now.
No doubt about it.
What about you, Rod? Who would you say is who's been the most influential?
Influential.
Thank you.
Tell him.
You got me. Thank you. As far as who's helped you out?
It's easily my dad by far.
Sure.
He's done a lot for me. Ever since I was young, he's put me in the right positions, in the right places, you know, to be successful and get better. You know, as the years go on, you know, talked to me, you know, worked on small things, you know, mentally and, you know, to prepare me from, you know, going to the Little League level to the high school level to on to the college level. He's definitely done a lot. He's pushed me. Definitely pushed me. Same with Trey. I don't think I would be where I am right now if it wasn't for him. But yeah.
And just Lance, I want you and you guys can talk a little bit about this. For that kid out there that's playing football or he wants to play, or how much work, how dedicated have you been to this to get to where you at? You know, talk a little bit about that because, you know, again, I got a nephew who's going through it. You know, Trey, you just dipped him a little bit. But a lot of guys think they can just do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Talk a little bit about that. I'll start with you, Lance.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people that think, you know, it's just if you live, it's easy. That people just think it's like, oh, you just woke up one day, you were just a big time athlete. Like, nah, like if you want to do this, you gotta want to do it. Like if you think you want to do it, then if there's any part of you that think you go quit or you just might be out of it one day, you just can't do it. Like it's an everyday grind. It don't stop. It don't get no easier. So, you know, if you little kid out there that's been working your hardest, keep on working. Just you got to keep grinding every day. From here on out, it don't get no easier.
What about you, Trey? What you say about that?
Yeah, it's a 24/7, 365-day commitment. You know, once you start, ain't no stopping. Especially if you want to make it to the next level. So, if you like Lance said, younger kids out here grinding, trying to make it to the next level, just keep working. Most importantly, make sure your grade is good because your grade's not good.
It's important.
Ain't no schools gonna be looking at you. So.
And see, something I always tell young men is do more than what your team is doing, your teammates. You know, because everybody go to practice, everybody lift.
Yeah.
But do more than everybody else.
Gotcha.
Would you agree with that, Rod?
Yeah, most definitely.
Of course, if you want to be like everybody else, you do what everybody else do, and that means, you know, just doing the regular high school program. But if you want to push yourself to go into the next level, then you have to do extra outside of school, and you have to, you know, be consistent, you know, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, and you always have to work on your weaknesses, always try to get better, and the biggest thing is to focus on yourself. You know, so a lot of guys, they look at, you know, somebody else's success or, you know, what else somebody else has or what they're doing on the field or where they're at, and, you know, it distracts them from, you know, doing what they need to do to get better and get to where they need to be at.
Sure.
So that's very important, you know, keeping a streamlined focus and, you know, whatever you want to do and accomplish, just put the work in.
And then, see, when Reg and I played back in the 1920s, we didn't have things like Rising Stars and Prep Stars and whatever stars was out there. We didn't have those type of things. Talk a little bit about Booby Wins over here and how he's may have helped you guys, you know, get to where you at.
And Coach Wins has been a huge impact on all of our lives.
Definitely.
Taking us on these trips to see different colleges over spring break, over the summer, man. Just a huge shout out to Coach. You know, we appreciate everything he's done for us and everything he will continue to do for us in the future. So much love for Coach.
Thank you.
What about you? What about you, big fella?
You know, my friends, they be asking me like, where you go to get better and stuff like that. every single one, I tell them go to Coach Wins.
Yep.
If you wanna compete against the best, you gotta. If you want to be the best, you gotta go against the best. And the best go to Rising Stars. So you got to go to Rising Star. You want to get better. I mean, that's basically it.
What about you, Rod?
Just like I said earlier, you want to get better, work on something every single week. And Rising Stars is definitely, a place to be. All the best athletes there, going against the best, putting in work, focusing on small details. Everybody can go to the track and run, and but that technique is important. Technique is important.
No doubt.
Getting reps, competing with comparable or better competition.
Other top athletes.
Yeah, it's important.
And I did nothing. My goal was
come on, don't be modest. Go ahead.
My goal was making sure Lance did not shortchange me on that 100 or Trey make sure he catch a ball in the sprint down to the end zone, and Rob make sure he finished through the play. And we're going to teach technique. Whoever teaches technique, but one thing you can't teach is effort.
Yeah, hard.
And effort, because you get on the next level, they're just as good as you or better.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do different?
Yeah.
And the key to you is I got to outwork this guy every time. And we know we talent. So if you do 4 years to the university that you're attending and you work your rear end off every day, success is next door. It ain't around the corner. It's literally next door. So one thing you take from me, I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outwork you every day. Right. And Rod said it in the classroom, off the field, and on the streets, wherever you're at, you're going to run, and you're going to beat him in 2K, because I will beat you in 2K. and you heard that, Lance. I will beat you in 2K. I don't like 19, though. But we want to make sure, man, that we do that. And my job, because I love what I do, is give you what I never had of me. And to me, just to push you. You guys got talent. We didn't know Lance could run a 4.3, did we? We didn't know he could run 4.3. We knew he could run, and I didn't know he can jump like that. Wow. So it's my job to figure out how to bring the best in you guys, and you guys been awesome to me, and I'm going to follow you around forever until we get to our destination, because we're not going nowhere unless we're going to the next level, period.
Yeah, top. Sure.
So, Trey, who are you recruiting to get to Michigan State with you? Who are you trying to flip?
Listen, D'Antonio.
We trying to get a quarterback. We need a quarterback.
Just offer one.
Yeah, we're looking for a tight end, and I think we're looking for some D tackles too.
So how close are you with the other recruits in your class? I know that's always big every year.
Yeah, definitely. We're really, really close. We got a group chat, Snapchat group chat. Yeah. We text all the time. We got our official visit coming up this weekend. So looking forward to that. It's going to be fun with the guys.
Okay. What about you, Rod? Who you trying to get down to Northwestern with you?
From the state?
Yeah. Who you? Hey, you guys got a free platform. Hey, recruit them now. Tell them to come on with you. Who you trying to get? Who else? Who's somebody you've been looking at trying to come down and help you?
I'll say Cameron Martinez is a guy that come down and help us.
Muskegon.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely a playmaker. Mr. Football candidate as a junior.
Okay.
He's done a lot this season. Speed, strength. I think he'd be an asset to us in the future.
Mr. Dixon, anybody out there that you trying to flip? I mean, you got two guys here. Y'all haven't signed nothing on the dotted line yet. Who you trying to flip, man?
December 19th.
Trying to flip or just trying to get?
Who's somebody you know that you played against that you would love for them to come to Happy Valley with you?
From the state?
Yeah. It don't have to be from the state. It can be from Alaska. You just give me a name.
I mean, Nolan Smith. He came up on a visit last weekend. He said, he got the best weekend of his life and everything. Number one player.
Okay. Okay. That's the big fella, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, big fella.
So I need you guys to give me one offense, one defensive player that you think is going to be the next stud muffin.
In high school?
High school. High school that you know.
That I know?
Mm-hmm. Give me one.
On offense?
Offense, defense, yeah. Give me one.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to give it to either my man C.J. Harris, 2020 quarterback, or my man Donovan Edwards, 2021 running back, man.
Donovan, sure. Yeah.
Especially right there.
Defense.
Right.
Have to give me a little bit of time. I got to think about that one. I got to think
Go
about
ahead,
that
Lance. I know you got a couple on you.
I got to think about
offense. Offense definitely Donovan. I'll say Donovan. Defense, I want to say either. I'm not gonna say Cornell or Macari because they are
biased. Yeah.
But on defense,
It's tough.
It's tough on defense. There's a lot of good defense in.
Yeah, a lot of great
Michigan
athletes
right
in
now.
Michigan, man. I don't think Michigan get the credit we deserve.
Nah,
for
I don't
athletes.
think. Nah, we don't.
Well, and I know we got to wrap it up, but you just brought up a point about Michigan not getting the love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as we talked to a lot of different people around the country, and you hear Florida, Texas, California.
Cali.
What you guys say about that?
Line them up. That's
Hey,
the only way we can find out. Line them up.
I was watching. I was watching. I think it was Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I think it was them. And they was talking about. They was talking about Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, and they was talking about.
They did.
They was like Michigan. They don't have no athletes coming out of high school.
What?
Yeah.
They said the state of Michigan have athletes coming to high school. That's what they said.
They said like.
Oh wow,
high
we
school
need to chime in on that.
Oh, okay. That's our next thing then, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
surprised, too.
doing research, and I think the most NFL players in the state is coming from Michigan. I saw a guy who was talking about California on TV.
No doubt.
He said the best players are from California, but there's a lot of guys from Michigan is the top in the NFL.
We got football players, basketball players.
That's right.
We got it all.
That's right.
Well, we just got to change that. We just got to continue getting you guys to that next level and change that.
Well, guys, man, I mean, I could have talked to you guys for another hour at least, but I want y'all to promise us when you get to your destinations that you definitely come back, either at least call in at some point, let us know how you guys are doing.
Definitely.
Obviously with Reg and myself, we're going to be following you guys, man. So much love to Mr. Trey Mosley, Lance Dixon, and Mr. Roger Kerr. We appreciate you guys coming in.
Appreciate you guys having us.
Okay.
Bang, bang.
And with that, with that, to everybody out there, we want you guys to tune in next Wednesday, 7 to 9. This is your man, Derek Denham. Reggie Booby wins.
Booby.
See you next week on the Prep Star. Shine. We'll see you next week on the next Prep Stars Football Report.
See you Saturday, Shine.
Have a good night.
Okay. Peace.